Bowhunt or Die is being brought to you by Matthews, Lost Camo, Lone Wolf Portable Tree Stands, Hunter Safety System, Heartland Wildlife Institute, New Archery Products, Tinks, Carbon Express, Stealth Cam, Moose Utility Division, Lacrosse Footwear, Scent Blocker, Pine Ridge Archery, and Can Cooker.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Bowhunt or Die. I'm Todd Graff. Alongside me as always is Justin Czar. Justin, can you believe it? We've already had about 70 episodes now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think, how far the show has come since the early days of me and you in this room kind of fumbling through some of these interviews. But, Todd, the one thing, that we want to mention, and the reason that we bring up the fact that we've already had 70 episodes is, a lot of people don't realize that there's a variety of different ways that you can watch Bowhunt or Die, right. And you can actually go back and watch a lot of those old episodes. Don't make fun of us too much when you watch season 1, but you can go back and watch them whenever you want.
All right, there's no question about it. There's all kinds of delivery methods of our show. Number one, YouTube. A great way for a lot of people to tune in. Mm-hmm. You can pretty much log in anytime there and watch it there. Roku has been a really popular one. Justin, you can tell people a little bit more about Roku.
Well, yeah, if you don't know what a Roku is, it's actually a small streaming media device. It's about this big. Plugs
Inexpensive.
In. Yeah, you can get them for under $100. Plugs into your TV, hooks up to your wireless internet in your house, and you can stream all sorts of content over the internet. Not just our show, Bowhunt or Die, but you can stream, Amazon movies and Netflix and all sorts of stuff. I know I've talked to a lot of people who have actually replaced their cable entirely because they're sick of the bill,
right.
And they've just bought a Roku box, and now you can watch Bowhunt or Die whenever you want.
Right. Last but not least, of course, is always our website, bowhunting.com, and I guess also if you're a smartphone type of a guy with iTunes, you can subscribe to our podcast, have them downloaded to your phone. What I do is I keep that little handy cable with me. I can plug it in HDMI to any TV, and you can watch it from your couch.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different ways you can watch our show. Go back, watch, seasons 1 through 3. Obviously, we're in the middle of season 4 right now. So with that, kind of being said, Todd, we got some great hunts this week.
Woo, this is a good one. Dean got out there early and absolutely harvests a giant early season buck. Yep. I'm impressed, and I'll tell you what, this hunt goes beyond a hunt. It comes with a message. Right now, I've got goosebumps thinking about it. Let's stop right there and dive into the hunt.
Okay, I'm back at it. Early season bow hunting here in Wisconsin. And I'm getting a little tree therapy again this afternoon. So with any luck, we're gonna have something come by here. I didn't even get a chance to do my opening interview here, and I was just in the stand about 5 minutes, and a spike and an adult doe, and then it looked like another adult doe but smaller, and then a fawn came out. So there was 4 deer about 60 yards from me here. The adult doe, she's got a slit in her left ear, and that's the same doe that I seen last year, and she was actually on my hit list. She was an adult doe with no fawns, and it was one that I was trying to take out to get a little meat in the freezer. So with any luck, maybe they're gonna pop back out. They just went back down into the woods. If they pop back out and she comes close enough, she's in trouble tonight. So stick with me, and with any luck, we're gonna put something on the ground tonight. Really nice buck came out of the corn. Looked like a big 8, definitely a shooter, that's for sure. Must be bedded in the corn. Maybe tomorrow night I'm gonna take this stand down, and tomorrow I'll be sitting down on the other edge of the woods here. Okay, we're on a mission tonight to put our tag on a big doe. Last night I sat about 60, 70 yards up the edge of this alfalfa field, and spike buck and a bunch of does and fawns came out right here out in front of me here. So today I pulled the lone wolf down and came down about 60-70 yards, put the stand up in this tree, and if they do like they did last night, they should pop right out in front of me here 20-30 yards. So we'll see what happens here. All we can do is put our time in, and with any luck we're going to put one on the ground tonight, so stick with me. All right, well, I just got back to the truck and got out of my hunting clothes, and I did not want to do an interview at the end of the night in the stand because that big buck showed up and he worked across the field and it looked like he was feeding along the edge on acorns. Well, he headed off last night, and the wind was out of the northwest. Tonight it was out of the northeast, so I did not want to hunt that stand. I went way on the other end of the field, and I'm like, well, the chances of seeing that big buck again were pretty slim, and I was way down on the other end. I'm like, well, I'm going to go in tonight. If I get a chance at a big doe, I'm going to take her out. But so I was sitting there, and I seen all kinds of does, they came out, and I just couldn't get myself to shoot one. So I don't know, something was telling me, I think in the back of my head that, I should probably hold off a little bit and something might happen, and it did. That big buck popped out of that corn, and unfortunately, he actually walked about 10 yards from the tree that I was sitting in last night. And so yeah, that hurt a little bit and makes me sick, but what do? The wind wasn't right. It probably wouldn't have been right for that tree anyway, because he probably would have got me. He was downwind of it. So that's it for tonight. I'm going to turn it in, and tomorrow's work, and I'll have to get my kids after school, so I won't be able to go out. And the only thing I can do now is hopefully he sticks around and I can get on him by the weekend again. So we'll see you in the tree probably next Saturday. Well, while I'm waiting for things to happen here, I want to put a shout out to my wife. It is Monday night, like I said. I normally got to pick my kids up from school and stay with the kids, until my wife gets home. So I'm not able to hunt during the week usually. I was at work today, didn't plan on hunting tonight, but I got an email and my wife says, "Happy hunting. Go out there and get that big guy." Her mom is gonna pick up the kids after school and watch them tonight, so I owe my wife on this one. So with any luck, hopefully everything pans out and we see that big buck again tonight. I know him from last year and never laid eyes on him last year, but I got pictures of him last year. It's on, right here. Bow hunt or die, people. I don't believe that just happened. I just shot the buck that was out. That's 3 nights in a row. Yes. He made it to the edge of the corn, and I couldn't get back on him with the camera. There's a bunch of leaves in the way here. He stumbled around, he went around in a circle, ran into the corn, and he crashed. I pinned him. He is done. He is toast. I'm dedicating that buck to my dad. It's gonna be 15 years. I lost my dad to a tree stand accident. And right here, we didn't have a hunter safety system back then. We do now. That one's for my dad. What a buck. Right there, bow hunt or die. All right, here we are tonight. I got the crew with me again, and we're going on their first blood tracking at night. So the shot looked good, and he was stumbling just before he got to the cornfield. So I think we'll get him. But we're gonna follow the blood here and see what's at the end of it. That's the way you want them to look. Snapped it off. We got him. Here he is. It's always nice when it doesn't fit around the antler. All right, here he is. Talk about some early season success. Can't believe it. This is the 3rd night in a row that this buck has come out of this cornfield. Figured he was bedding in there, and 3 nights in a row he came out to the hay and works himself up to the woods and feeds on acorns. But he put a show on tonight. I'm still in disbelief that it actually happened. I didn't see this point the last couple nights. He was out there quite a ways, but it's definitely the same buck. He's got a real gray muzzle on him. Just a great buck. Definitely one I'll remember for sure. Kids came along and with their first blood tracking, and it was a great night, that's for sure. Bow hunt or die.
Well, Todd, that was another great self-filmed hunt from Dean. You know, he's been one of the top contributing team members over the last couple of years. And what I think is cool is his footage continues to get better with each passing year and each passing hunt. I mean, here's a guy, this is, I think, his 3rd self-filmed buck kill in the last 3 years. All great footage. And this time he had both of the Epic cameras going. I mean, he's kind of raised the bar for all of us out there self-filming. He's definitely put the screws to Todd a little bit and caused him to have to up his game to try to, you know, match the quality of that footage.
Look out, Dean, I'm coming for you. Well, you know, you're right, Justin. I mean, he beyond the fact that his footage is fantastic, I mean, the whole story behind this. I mean, you know what? He saw this buck, and he did everything that a hunter should do. I mean, he moved, set up multiple stands, got in there, and on top of it all, his wife was cool enough to let him get out there on the day that he needed to be there and put down that deer.
It's funny how those things, you know, have a way of working out in the end. But you're right, it was a great hunt, and I think it's a testament to, you know, the lone wolf stands. You know, we talk about it a lot, but, you know, being able to be mobile during the season and actually reposition yourself quickly where you see the deer actively feeding or actively using a certain trail, I mean, it's priceless when it comes to being able to get within bow range of a deer. Right. And ultimately, that's what we're doing. We're bow hunting. We have to get close to them. There's no better tool than the lone wolf stand and climbing sticks. Now, Todd, with the hunt part kind of out of the way, obviously there's a bigger message I think here that Dean had to share with everybody, and that was the story about his dad and just tree stand safety in general.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, I remember when that footage came in, honestly, both Justin and I had no idea about anything that his dad fell from a tree stand and passed away. I mean, honestly, we had no idea. And we've known Dean for quite a while now, and I tell you what, when Brandon watched that footage and he kind of looked at it and then looked at me and you and said, hey, you guys need to come over here and see this, I was expecting to see the deer crash. I was expecting to see something totally different than what I was looking at and when I was watching and listening to Dean. I mean, I got goosebumps now. The message is so strong. Guys, seriously, I mean, if you are not using a harness and the lifeline systems that are available today, you know what, honestly, this isn't about us with Hunter Safety System and, of course, the brand that we like and that we use. You need to be wearing a safety harness and the tree lines all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the message transcends products or any sponsorships that we may have, and that's just staying safe when you're out there. Todd and I talked, and we look back when we were younger, before these tree stand safety products existed, and some of the dumb things that we did, whether it was climbing into stands, hanging stands without lineman's belts. Right. I can remember being 14 years old, climbing into a tree stand 18 feet off the ground and going to sleep in the dark in a stand, not wearing a harness. I mean, just when you take a look back now, knowing what we know today about how many tree stand accidents there are and how they're so preventable.
Right.
I mean, one fall is all it takes, to hurt yourself, paralyze, God forbid, you die.
Your friend this last weekend?
I had a friend last weekend that was up in a stand, not wearing a harness. Cables broke. He fell. Luckily, he was able to catch himself on another tree. But, I mean, he literally came probably inches away from potentially dying, which, is just so foolish with the amount of great tree stand safety products that are out there. So, guys, do yourselves a favor. And if not for yourself, for your family, your friends, your kids, go get a Hunter Safety System. Use it 100% of the time when you're in a tree stand, and you're going to be a lot more thankful when you come home safely after your hunt. So with all that said, the next hunt we got for you is from Jeff Kaye and Craig Roffers in central Wisconsin, and it's pretty neat, Todd. They're actually hunting over one of the food plots that we watched them build this summer on a couple of the episodes. So let's see how they do.
All right, guys, here we are. We've been waiting 9 months for this day to come to get in the tree. Opening weekend of Wisconsin Archery. We're driving to the stand right now. We're hunting the food plots we've been working so hard all summer long on. We'll be in the stand in probably 20-30 minutes. We'll see you then.
Are you set? Let's rock. Alright guys, we just got into the tree. First hunt of the year. We're hunting over our Heartland Wildlife Buckbuster. Also a little soybean plot that we've been working super hard all year long to put in here. We're hoping they come off the ridge and naturally feed down through here. With any luck, we'll get a couple does, maybe a nice buck named Slick come down here. So, Bowhunt or die. Alright guys, we finally got our first action of the night. The sun just hit the trees. We look behind us. 4 doe bedded in the cornfield. And are working their way around us here up to the beans. Hopefully they'll come into the beans. And there looks like 3 mature does, so hopefully we can get a shot off at one of these. just had the plot fill up with deer. It was awesome. I couldn't get a shot forever and ever. That was a nice big mature doe. I think she got us a couple times last year, so looked like a great shot. So we'll see in a bit. Bowhunt or die. Yeah, baby.
All right, guys, we just got out of the stand. Gave her about 20-30 minutes. I don't think she made it too far. We kind of heard her rustling through the beans here, heading down over to the woods here. So let's go see if we can find her here. Wow. That's some good blood right there. Oh, there she is.
Nice.
What'd she make it? 60, 70 yards? Nice doe. It's so awesome when hard work all summer long. I mean, we must have came up here a dozen times planting these food plots, spraying them. We sit one time on the bean field. We had 5 deer. Perfect timing, plenty of light to get it done. And this is nice doe to start off the season. So, Bowhunt or die.
Well, that was a great example of an early season hunt from Craig and Jeff up in Wisconsin. You know, like I said earlier, the cool thing about this hunt is that we watch them plant their food plots all summer long, from spraying them to getting them tilled up, planting them, praying for rain. You know, their beans looked great. They grew up and obviously did their job, as there was a bunch of does feeding and Craig made a perfect shot. Now, hopefully, once things get a little bit further into the season, those does start drawing those bucks into those plots and they can put one on the ground. Well, before we go, we want to take a minute to thank some of the people who sent in their trophy photos for this week's episode.
Jay McClure,
Lance Robertson,
Landon Nelson,
Daniel Lewis,
and Bryce Kish.
Hey, congratulations, everybody. Those are some great trophies. Now, remember, if you want to submit your photo to us for possibly using it right here on Bowhunt or Die, you can do it on our Facebook page, through Twitter, or emailing us direct, info@bowhunting.com. Now, Todd, that's all the hunting action we've got for this week's show. Of course, October is finally here, unfortunately. We got some warm temperatures and some rain and some wind right now, so conditions aren't ideal, but it looks like going into this weekend,
It's going to change.
Things are going to get good.
It's going to get real good. I mean, I know I am definitely geared up, suited up. My truck is packed. My gear is cleaned and washed. I'm shooting good. I just need to find my buck now.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? You know, I guess one thing I do want to touch on is, you know, going into this weekend, at least across most of the Midwest, we got a pretty good cold front moving through. At least here in Illinois, it looks like it's going to blow through sometime on Saturday morning, early afternoon, which could make Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and even into Monday some really good hunts.
Yep.
If you guys remember back to last year, opening weekend in Illinois, we had a cold front move through. Yes. Temperatures were a little bit cooler. We actually got down into the low 30s last year. We're looking at high 30s, low 40s this year. But, you know, that first good cold snap in October generally has some of those bucks up on their feet.
Sure.
A lot of guys saw big deer last year, and a lot of giants hit the ground that first weekend. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. Everybody's out in the woods, so you're just going to have to check back next week right here on Bowhunt or Die.
Don't forget to check out facebook.com/bowhunting for daily updates, news, photos, and other exciting information. We want to hear your opinions and your stories, so join us now and like us on Facebook.
Well, here he is the next day. All right, here he is. Great early fall. I can't talk, and I don't know what else I'm saying.
What does the fox say? Maybe after I shoot a deer, I'll just turn to the camera and go, "What does the fox say?" and then start dancing in my stand. What's up now, Chase Larson?